Assalamu alaikum. So I wanted to talk to you guys about how sometimes we can feel a disconnect from the Quran, especially when the verses are talking about legal rulings, like legalities, and sometimes the topic has to do with the companions that were there at the time of the Prophet ﷺ. So sometimes it's easy for us to be like, oh well, this doesn't apply to me, and rush through it, and not really soak it in. But what if I told you that actually every single verse, no matter how much you feel like it's disconnected from you, it doesn't have to do with you, it actually has to do with you and me and all of us, and we can all soak up something from it. The Quran, something beautiful about it is that it's universal, and it's not just sent for those people at that time. Just because it was sent about them doesn't mean we can take something out of it. And an example is verse number 94 in Surah Al-Ma'idah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا لَيَبْلُوَنَّكُمُ اللَّهُ بِشَيْءٍ مِنَ الصَّيْدِ تَنَالُهُ أَيْدِيكُمْ وَرِمَاحُكُمْ لِيَعْلَمَ اللَّهُ مَنْ يَخَافُهُ بِالْغَيْبِ. And basically this verse says, "O you who believe, Allah is going to test you with something of the hunting prey or hunting game that will come to your hands and to your spears, so Allah can know and who from among you, to distinguish who from among you actually fears Him in the unseen." So when you're reading this verse, it's talking about in the time of ihram, when anybody is doing pilgrimage, you're not supposed to do hunting on land. You're forbidden. So when you're in the state of ihram and you're doing umrah or hajj, you cannot physically go hunt animals on land. And that was the verse. This is what it's talking about. And it's easy for us to read this verse and like, oh, okay, it's just a ruling, and you go through it. But subhanAllah, my grandpa, may Allah have mercy on his soul, taught me that there's something we can connect with on this verse, and there's a connection we can get from every other verse that has to do with the ruling. And this verse in particular, he was telling us it has to do with all of us. Allah is saying, "Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu la yabluwannakum Allahu bishay'in min as-sayd." And he said sayd in our generation could be temptations. There's temptations all around us, and Allah is going to test us with them, right? And he used to say, look at the music industry and how the music is almost a god sometimes, right? Some people take it as a god, like we're not literally, but that they almost like it's their life, right? Or also, sex, you see it all around you, and it's so easy to do something haram, right? And Allah is testing us with that. And you see that with everything, with drinking, with non-halal environments, mixed gender relations. There's so many things that are around us that are coming straight to us. So my grandpa used to tell us, لا يبلونكم الله بشيء من الصيد تناله أيديكم. It's going to come straight to you, like to your hand. Like the haram, the ability to do haram is going to come straight to your hand, literally, and sometimes it's easy for us to be like, oh wow, like this is haram, but Allah is giving it to me, it's right in front of me. If it was haram, Allah wouldn't do this to me, so maybe it's halal, and you start questioning yourself. But that's actually the whole point. Allah is going to give it to you, He's going to give it to you to test you. And what's the point of the verse? The point of the verse is the last part where he says, لِيَعْلَمَ اللَّهُ مَنْ يَخَافُهُ بِالْغَيْبِ. All this is going to happen to distinguish who actually fears Allah, or fears going against Allah's commandments in the unseen. We fast right now, but because of our taqwa, we're not going to go eat when nobody sees that we're eating. We have taqwa, we have God consciousness. And this is what Allah wants us to build in this verse right here. He wants us to gain that taqwa, not only in fasting, but in every other situation. When the haram is right in front of you, it's coming to your hand, when everybody around you is doing it, the sight, like it's right there, the temptation is right here coming to you, are you going to fear going against Allah's commandments? And Allah's commandments aren't just there for Him, they're actually there for us. Allah has put them in place because He knows what's best for us. So subhanAllah, I would have never thought of this verse this way, but my grandpa, may Allah have mercy on his soul, taught me that this is what this verse meant to him. And now I take it, and every time I go through it, I'm like, wow, subhanAllah, every year there's more temptations, all around us. You see it in TV shows, you see it everywhere. And it's very important for us to actually go back to this verse. When you feel like you're being tested and you're like, wow, it's right in front of me, just remember, what's the point? The point is taqwa. What are you going to do in that moment? How can we get better? So I pray Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us that steadfastness and that taqwa to overcome all these challenges, inshallah. And I hope that we can all connect to the Quran more and more, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.